Hey, Cece got a
Cece
talk
got a talk
show.
show.
You got a talk show? Go ahead
Go
now,
ahead now,
Cece.
Cece. Hi, welcome to the Safe Space Sisi show. I'm Safe Space Sisi, aka Sinclair, the nature loving psychotherapist. Co-hosting with me today is Scottie Barnes, the founder of the nonprofit Catch the Kite. Today's life lesson is brought to us by Intro. I was in my parents' yard looking for a muse, and as I walked around, I noticed that this flower had bloomed quicker than the other flowers. And all I heard in my mind was, just in case it's perfect, let me introduce. For those of you who don't know, J. Cole is my favorite artist, and that is a lyric from Too Deep for the Intro. Anyway, so I snapped the picture and I was like, this is definitely a picture that is going into my portfolio. So whenever I look at this picture, I'm always reminded to share my passion with the world, just in case it's perfect. So again, as I said, I have Scottie here co-hosting with me today. I have him here because me sharing my passion, it came from just me being in nature, thinking about my thoughts. But Scottie and his passion came from his life experiences and friends that he talked to, and things like that. So I just wanted him to talk about the importance of sharing your passion with the world. What is his passion, and the importance of encouraging our young ones to share their passion with the world, so it can maybe keep them away from going down paths that are not as beneficial for them. I think is that okay?
That's right.
That's
That's
okay
right.
to say.
That's
All right. So let's get into it so I can stop talking.
Well, like you're saying, that's what Catch the Kite is all about. Passing the message down. Because see, a lot of us have our passion stems from situations. But for my passion is to give back to the community the best way I can, because I want to keep the message going from my mistakes and the things that I've done in the past.
Okay, so let's talk about what is Catch the Kite. How did it start? Who is Scottie, and how did Scottie come up with Catch the Kite?
Well, who is Scottie? Now that I know myself, because years I didn't know myself. I thought who I was who I was at that time. And really that person at that time was just a person with a survival mindset. It didn't matter what I did to survive. That was my mindset at the time. So I have a mindset of prosperity, growth, love, and care. So Catch the Kites came from my life experiences and the things that I've been through in the streets, in and out of prison, drugs, all that type of lifestyle for well over 20 some years. So I look at it like, I wanted to give something back. And a friend of mine, he's on death row, and we talked on the phone and we had a conversation. And by him being on death row, he still reach out to the community and talk to different colleges. And professors go to the prison and talk to him about certain things and stuff like that. And he speak to some of the students. So, but he's doing his time for his crime, but at the same time, he's still trying to pass the kite on. Mm-hmm. And so that's where Catch the Kite came from, a conversation that me and him had to continue to pass the kite. Because see, a lot of our fathers and our grandfathers, and we didn't get the message from them. We didn't get to know how to change the oil. We didn't get to know how to treat our women, how to respect our other people or whatever, how to carry ourselves as man and conduct ourselves, so the kite wasn't passed down. So that's what Catch the Kite is all about, continuing the message and uplifting others.
Okay, so uplifting others, sharing your passion. Mm-hmm. You are involved with the community. You are highly involved with the youth. What are some passions from your childhood that, if they had been nurtured, would have maybe changed the course of who Scottie is today?
Football.
Okay.
Football was I love football. I mean, I was squatting 500 pounds in the ninth grade. I was always stocky and built, and I played running back, and that was one of my dreams, of being a professional football player, real fast and strong. So, but I remember one time I ran a touchdown and I looked in the crowd and I didn't see my mom. And I didn't see nobody in my family there, but I just seen my football players' mothers screaming for me, and their fathers, And it made me feel some kind of way because it happened over and over again. And so over time, I just lost interest, and I would go home and tell my mom how good I did. But she was happy for me, but it wasn't like I had the support. You know, she couldn't give me the support because she had to work so much. You know what I'm saying? So that was really what could have changed the course of my life.
Okay, so what was the transition like from football to life in the streets, or how did that come about?
One day I was at Enloe High School, and I was on the practice field. After practice that day, I just walked. I said I don't want to play no more, you know. And my coach came to my classroom like a week, a few days after I didn't go to practice, and he said, Barnes, I need to talk to you. So I go out in the hall. I said, what's going on? He said, you want to play football or be in the street? And I told him I want to be in the street. And from that day forward, that was one of the worst mistakes I made, you know. And from that day, I was in the street, you know. That was a decision that I made. Yeah.
So do you feel like if you were supported more in football by your family, not any fault to them, because like you said, mom had to work, do you feel like if that was supported more, then the streets wouldn't have been an option? Or I'll say that.
Well, I can say this. Not having a father, not having a mentor, somebody to look up to that I could see that I want to be like, that played a big role, you know, because a lot of the people that I looked up to, they was older guys, but they were just hanging out. You know, some people say, yeah, my football coach is my mentor. Yeah, that's until you're not playing ball no more. When you're not playing football no more, that football coach ain't your mentor. So we have a lot of athletes on the street corners in games right now because they don't have that mentor no more. So I fell in that category. That once I stopped playing football, I didn't have nothing else to go to besides what I went to, you know, and that caused a lot of stuff throughout my life.
And so now, in today's time, with you being who you are now and being the founder of Katch the Kite, what are some passions that you are encouraging in the youth that you work with?
Well, what I instill in them is to dream. Write down your dreams, goals, and check them off as you go, because it's good to have something visual to see. And then also they can look at me and see what I have accomplished and how far I come, and they know they can do it as well. And having somebody to talk to with a clear head that can give them positive feedback and lead them in the right direction to make sure they're successful the best way they can be, because that's very important. A lot of times, sometimes people just need an ear, somebody to talk to, you know, to get to vent a little bit, and then because 9 times out of 10 they already have the answers. You hear it in the conversation. So it's just like they have to tap into it and say, okay, man, you're right. I do know what I need to do, but sometimes it takes that. And being a mentor, and not only for young men but also for adults that I mentor, you know, that might need my help or whatever. Because that's what it's all about. I want to fill in a gap where I can. And sometimes I need that. Sometimes I take on so much that I need a release. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tenfold. Everybody has to be there for one another in this process because it's real tough.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some activities that you are involved with the youth now and with Katch the Kite?
Well, right now, I have work with young men that say if they're interested in music and they would like to do music. We have a studio, they come and record, and sometimes they might not have the money. And so I try to put things in place where they can come in, record, and get some music. At the same time, try to give them something they can hold on to encourage them to keep moving forward. Because a lot of young men don't have money for studio time. A lot of young men don't have what they need, but at least get some material that they can push until they get to that point. But at the end of the day, they still can call me anytime they get ready to call me to talk about whatever. I mean, I'm talking about 19, 20-year-olds, 23 years old, 24 years old, young men like that, So, that's what I do. I try to fill in the gap on that.
Now you are you're in the same age group as my parents, so I feel like you understand the lack of emotion that's displayed in households that look like ours from your generation. So with that said, with football, what your passion was is used, or music as with your children, the youth that you see doing now, or with even me with nature photography. Those aren't really like careers that was like, oh, when I grow up, I wanna do this, and it's like guaranteed. So and I don't want to like say that everyone is like this, but to say. And in my household, not that I was ever told, because I never said, hey, I want to be a nature photographer. But if you're saying, hey, I want to be a nature photographer, and you're hit with, that's not gonna be sustainable in your career. How do you work through that if this is something that you're so passionate about? And again, I just want to point out I was not discouraged of that in my house. I'm just using it as an example. How do you respond when your passion isn't supported?
Well, you're saying if your passion is not supported. Well, it's going to be negative, in a way, because my son, when they came to me and said they wanted to do music, him and his partner is like my son as well. I was like, I heard what they was doing. I was like, it ain't ready. Y'all got to work a little bit more. But then they kept calling me over and they get better and better. And so they were like, what you like it? And I was like, yeah, I like it. And so that was their passion. And so I stepped in, invested money in them, and supported them on their music path. And because I think every parent should look at a child if they're interested in something to support them, because that don't mean they're not going to grow up to be whatever you want them to be. That don't mean they're not going to grow up to be something else that's positive. And because we traveled, we did music. We was on 106 and Park. We did probably one summer. We did about 100 shows in one summer. But one now is a lawyer. I got my son. He's a tech down in Durham. Got a great job. And they still doing music. On the side. But now that their job, now their passion is just something they do on the side. You know what I'm saying? But I allow them the opportunity to support them for them to get to that point. But that still don't mean they're not going to be successful. But sometimes you want to fill those gaps, you know what I'm saying, and not want your kids to feel like, what if?
Yeah. What exactly? What if? And when I snapped this picture, like I heard the line, just in case it's perfect. Let me introduce. Yes, again, it's a J. Cole line, but it's the fact that this flower had budded. I don't know if you can see the other flowers behind it hadn't budded yet, but it was the only one. So I'm like, this flower has the confidence to be like, yo, let me spark out.
But you see, one thing about this picture that I'm looking at, everything, even from the stem, every part of this flower needs one another. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like who we are as people. We need one another to survive as a race, because we got so much against us already. And what kills me is a lot that we can stick together with negativity, but when it comes to positivity, we don't know how to do that. And that kills the flower. That kills the growth in us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think this was a nice discussion about sharing your passions and supporting your passions and working through your passions.
That's right.
All right, so for more information on Katch the Kite, I will tag Katch the Kite and Scottie Barnes' information below. Thank you, Scottie, for co-hosting with me today.
Thank you.
I look forward to whatever is in store next week. So join me and let's work through our trauma together.
All right.
The Safe Space Sisi show. I like that, Cece. Let's work through our trauma together.